Oh, I'm just making a video.
Of what? Sorry, because filming our backyard, obviously we have concerns.
Are you filming? Are you filming me?
I am, yes. So
would you let me know before you start filming me, please?
Yeah, no, I want to deal with this first because this is more pressing.
Deal with what?
The fact that you're filming a backyard, you're filming police officers going in and out of the building.
Why would that be a problem?
Because you understand there's a terror threat. This is what people do. They film, they make video.
No, they don't.
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you that people film.
Based on what data, facts, statistics? Just pulling it out the air. No, you're saying, you're telling me, but you're not, there's no basis for your argument.
That people do what's called hostile reconnaissance.
Okay, do you think this is hostile reconnaissance?
Are you going to actually listen?
I don't want to listen because you're talking rubbish, bro. This is not, terrorists do not film back gates of police stations.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
They do.
Name me one example.
There was go on. This case of the White City police station. He had loads of videos of the police station and he was stopped just before he attacked.
The officer tries to sound authoritative by accusing Cole of engaging in hostile reconnaissance, claiming he's filming the back gate of a police station with malicious intent. However, when pressed to provide an example, the officer can only cite the 2014 White City terror plot, a completely different scenario. In that case, two men were caught conducting genuine surveillance, secretly recording police officers and infrastructure as part of a planned terror attack involving firearms and explosives. There was clear intent, evidence of plotting, and materials to execute the attack. Cole, by contrast, is simply standing in a public area, openly filming without any effort to hide his actions. The White City case involved covert terrorist surveillance, not lawful public recording.
Well, I believe it was.
Could you identify yourself, please?
What's all this? What are you filming the police station for is what I'm asking you.
I asked you to identify first, please. You don't, what does this mean? What if I can't
I've got a name badge, I've got shoulder numbers.
Okay, when a member of the public asks
anyway,
you to identify,
I'm asking you a question. Why are you filming
we're going
the
down this
backyard
authoritarian route, are we? I don't need to answer any questions. How about that?
Was it section 55?
Section 55,
right.
Is it?
Right, you're going to be searched on Section 55 of the Terrorism Act. I'm PC Beach from Barkingside Police Station. You're entitled to a copy of the search. You're detained for the purpose of the search.
Okay. You're not going to cuff me, are you?
No,
can I keep this in my hand?
Relax.
You lot calm down. What are the grounds for the search? What are you expected to find?
I said I'm not going to put you in cuffs. I'll put you under.
What is Section 55? What is Section 55?
There's a Terrorism Act. It allows us to search.
Does it exist?
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Right, okay.
Alright, you're going to be sued. Crack on, mate.
Right.
Get your hand off me. Get your hand off me. Why are you putting me to the floor? Why are you putting me to the floor? Yo, Jill, get off, get off, get off, get off, get off. Why are you putting me to the ground?
Because you're continuing to pull against me and you're being
grabbed me for no reason.
This moment stands out as one of the most shocking examples of sheer incompetence ever caught on camera. The officer repeatedly grills Cole for answers, and when he fails to get the response he wants, he suddenly announces that he's detaining him for a search under Section 55 of the Terrorism Act. The issue? There is no Section 55 that grants police any power to detain or search individuals. It's completely fabricated. The officer has either confused the law to an absurd degree or invented a non-existent section on the spot to justify his misuse of authority. When Cole understandably resists this unlawful action, he's violently slammed to the ground and handcuffed. Every officer is expected to know the legal powers they are invoking, and this one didn't just make a mistake. He blatantly violated Cole's rights under Article 5 of the Human Rights Act, which protects individuals from unlawful detention.
What's wrong with these people, man?
No. Relax.
Get off me! Get off! Relax. Get off! Get off! Section 55 doesn't even exist. Get your
No. Look, right, as soon as the cuffs are on, you can stand up, just relax, alright?
It was very simple. You were just asked why you were filming a police station.
But please,
thank you.
Right, put this right. He's acting unreasonable now.
It's not acting.
It's
It's
absolutely
He's
unreasonable.
asked you a question, you didn't answer him.
I don't have to answer.
fight against me.
Question, isn't it?
Beach, I don't have to answer. Do you not get that?
I'm going to continue to search you. It's fine.
Whilst I'm on the floor. At least let me stand up. Section 55 doesn't even exist. You just made it up.
Section 55 of the Terrorism Act.
Section 55 doesn't exist. Get me out of cross. I'm not resisting. I'm not.
Relax.
He was trying to search you and you was
You have no grounds to search me. Section 55 don't exist.
Stand by.
What grounds?
Stand by.
So you just made up a law and you just tackled me to the floor for doing illegal activity. That's what's just happened. My coat is ripped. I'm in cuffs. What is Section 55? What is Section 55?
This part is equally damning, and it exposes even more about the culture of silence within the force. Cole keeps stating the obvious, Section 55 doesn't exist. The officer has literally made up a law, and he's absolutely right to point it out. Yet not a single officer present steps in to correct their colleague or put a stop to the unlawful detention taking place. Instead, they all stand by, silently watching as an abuse of power unfolds in real time. That silence is the most disturbing element. The complicity. Even if one or two officers genuinely didn't realize that Section 55 grants no authority to detain, someone in that group definitely did. The fact that none of them spoke up says everything about how broken accountability has become. In moments like this, protecting each other's image seems to matter more than upholding the very law they swore to enforce.
A state of you, man. You're a complete mess, bro. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Why would I do what?
Why would you just
you
do
filming
what
in
you
the
just did?
backyard of a police station. I've asked you questions
I don't
about
need
it,
to answer your
and you're
question.
not
I don't
answering
need to
it.
answer.
So then I decided to search you. When I'm searching you, you've decided to resist. So I've used force in order to.
Yes, I will resist. Of course,
I'm
I'll resist.
explaining. If you want to listen, you can listen.
But you're gonna
Because you want
that
this for
code
your
as well.
camera and everything, don't you?
Yeah, so take me out of cuffs so you can explain, and then maybe people
At
can
the moment,
hear
you're
your
still
point.
detained.
For what? What else are you searching for? I don't understand. You haven't even searched the bag. Why have you not
I
searched the
searched
bag?
your bag.
Yeah, this place, hella corrupt. You know that. This
Right,
is
what I
wrong.
will correct is it is section 44, not 55. I did get the wrong
44.
section.
That's wrong as well. Try
It's
the third
not.
time. Let's see if you get third time lucky. This 43 is the one you're looking for. It's too late now. Too late now.
It don't matter, mate.
Yeah, no, it does, no, it does matter, mate. No, it does matter, mate. It does matter, mate. It does matter, mate. Yeah. You can just make it up on the spot. It does matter.
If you're
Of course
searching
it
for
matters.
terrorism act, who cares?
But what do you mean, who cares?
We're
It
searching
matters.
now because we suspect you being
Yeah, you
terrorist. That's why.
suspect I'm a terrorist.
Yeah? Shut up and
You
listen.
shut up, you slap it. Yeah.
This part
Slap it,
is
shut up.
genuinely jaw-dropping. After everything, the fake law, the takedown, the handcuffs, the officer casually admits, I got it wrong to begin with this 55, and then tries to dismiss it with, I'm human. That's not humility. That's damage control. This wasn't a minor error or a slip of the tongue. It was a complete fabrication of the law that directly led to someone being unlawfully detained and assaulted. What this moment truly reveals is a dangerous mindset, one that treats policing like a trial and error exercise, as if people's rights are something you can just get wrong and move past. But the law doesn't work that way. Accountability exists precisely because officers are not allowed to guess. They are trained professionals, entrusted with powers that can take away a person's freedom. And with that authority comes the absolute duty to know exactly what they're doing.
Idiot. Yeah, it's a great one. You're out here misusing legislation, searching me under legislation that don't exist. It's a great one. Section 43 don't require me to give no details.
44.
Yeah, 44 don't exist anymore. It was repealed in 2011.
So you're refusing to give
Yes,
us your
I'm
name?
refusing, yeah.
That's you, yeah?
Is it? Let's see the photo.
That's you, yeah? I'm not going to show you. No.
because there's.
Oh, get off away from me then. Who are you talking to, mate?
Who you talking to?
Yeah?
What?
Do you know what I mean? Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, don't stop,
What's the-
mate. I'm talking to my
what, 'cause
colleague.
I'm in cuffs and there's four of you.
Huh? What are you
you're
going to
so
do?
bad?
What are you going to do about cuffs?
I'm not gonna act aggressive, am I? I was acting aggressive because you touched me first. I was defending myself. Okay, so you
That's
can
fine,
take me out
I'm-
of cuffs.
No, I'm not. And that's no worries. I'll have to write something to explain why I've kept you in cuffs, and I'll do
You're
that.
gonna be sued for this. Don't worry about it.
I'll be sued, no problem.
You are gonna be made to account. I promise you. You're gonna be
Okay,
made to
that's no problem.
I'm already suing
Like
Sergeant. I'm
I
already suing
said,
someone for state
I'll
use.
have to do notes after this to explain it, and I'll justify it, and I'll account for it, as you said
You'll
in
have to
your
justify
words.
it to a judge as well. It won't be you though.
It won't be
It'll
to
be
a
your
judge, will it?
solicitors.
That's not be silly.
No, you will, because it's going to go to the county court.
When Coley warns him that he's going to be sued for detaining someone under a law that doesn't exist, the officer doesn't deny it or show concern. He shrugs it off and says, "That's fine, I'd be sued, no problem." That level of confidence while admitting to an unlawful act is staggering. It shows how comfortable some officers have become operating outside the law because they know the system will protect them more than it protects the public. Then he makes it even worse. He says, "I'll justify it in my notes." And when Coley reminds him that it will be in front of a judge, the officer arrogantly replies, "It won't be seen by a judge, don't be silly." He genuinely believes this will never leave the station, that paperwork will bury it. But thankfully, this time, it didn't.
There we go. Right, like I explained, you're entitled to a copy of the search.
Yeah, let me get
If
that.
you go to a police station,
No, right, can you write out
we
for
do
me?
it
Can you
electronically.
write out for me? Could you identify yourself, please? Why not?
You've been searched under terrorism. You don't have to.
You don't have to, under terrorism legislation.
I'll do it from it's 235 That's
So why have you released me if I'm a terrorist?
You deal with them officers there, mate. Alright?
Just go, what are you saying about what you're going to do and this and that? Why are you acting like a thug? So yes, it was section 55.
Section 44.
No, so you said 55, 44.
55 to begin with, and I corrected myself.
Okay.
I'm human. I
So,
forget
all right,
things.
fair enough. So what's it, 44, yeah?
Yeah.
So you corrected it from 55 to what?
44 is what I believe is the right section.
I just wanted to make sure you wrote down section 44.
I haven't written down section 44 on there.
Okay.
The code on there is for the Terrorism Act, and that's what I put in there. But, like, I've said it all over my camera, your camera, everything, that I believe I got it wrong to begin with. There's 55.
You can't afford to get things wrong, though. You can't afford to get. No, of course, no, you can't. No, but you. This is you're dealing with people's rights. You're dealing with legislation and crime. You can't afford to make mistakes like
The
this.
encounter was chaos from the very start. An officer saw a camera, panicked, and immediately began shouting about terrorism in Section 55, a law that doesn't even exist. Instead of pausing to think, he reacted impulsively. Instead of asking questions, he resorted to force. Cole posed no threat. He was simply filming in public. But that didn't matter. Once emotion took control, professionalism disappeared completely. What makes it even worse is that none of the other officers stepped in to stop it. They just stood by as one of their own detained a man under a completely fabricated section of the Terrorism Act and slammed him to the ground. That silence exposes a real issue, the culture of complicity. When one officer crosses a line, the rest stay quiet, hoping the situation will fade away. But when everything is caught on camera, nothing fades. It follows them all the way to a formal complaint, and eventually a payout. Then came the excuse, I'm human. But this wasn't a minor lapse or a forgotten procedure. This was the unlawful detention of a person under a law that doesn't exist. That's not human error. That's complete incompetence. Cole was absolutely right when he said, you can't afford to get it wrong. Because when you have the power to take someone's freedom, you don't get the luxury of being a bit off. Even after everything, the officer showed no genuine remorse, laughing it off and joking about being sued. But it wasn't funny when the case finally hit the legal system. The department settled because they knew they couldn't defend what had happened. Cole turned their arrogance into accountability, something money can't cover up. In the end, Cole didn't just walk away with a payout. He walked away having proven exactly why filming the police is so important. Without that camera, the officer's fake law and violent conduct would have been buried under paperwork. Instead, it became yet another recorded example of what happens when unchecked power meets public accountability.
Want to have a discussion, or are you just going to shout abuse?
I want to hear.
I'm going to go.
Go on. I want to hear what you want to say. Yeah, go on. Go on.
I'm human. I thought it was 55. Now I believe it's 44. I corrected it.
You're dismissed. Go away. You're a joker. You're a clown. 3136 Tango 3136. Don't forget this guy's face.
3136 Tango. My warrant, mate. Don't put it on my face. My warrant
Job on
number's
Muppet. Go on. You're dismissed, Muppet, man. Go away, man.
Whoa.
Muppet. What?
Do not push the door on.
Oh, so you're gonna swear now, yeah?
No, you just tried to slam my arm in that door.
No, I tried to close the.
You tried to slam my arm was still in the door.
I tried to close the door. You get away. You get away. You just took me to the
You want
ground.
to be arrested for assault?
How was that
Slammed
assault?
that with my arm
No, I
in
didn't
the
slam
door.
it. I just moved it as I was walking by.
Look, you know what? Go away before you get yourself in more trouble.
Muppet.